Guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Montu Motors because you know what? It's a special occasion. This is a 1995 Nissan Skyline GT-R. This is the first year of the R33, and guess what? This is actually the first legally documented imported R33 GT-R in the country. It actually came into our shores in January of this year, January 5th to be exact. But let's talk a little bit about Nissan Skyline GT-R history. If you want to date back the earliest roots of the GT-R, it goes all the way back to 1970. By 1989, Nissan, after a little bit of a time lapse had occurred, brought out a GT-R known as the R32. That car was so dominant, not only on the streets, but also on the racetracks, especially in Australia in the super touring car class. Now, what's interesting is that the car was so dominant that the Australians gave it its nickname that still sticks today, known as Godzilla. With this R33, some things changed. Now, the first year of the R33, the Skyline R33, was actually 1993. But in 1995 is when they decided to bring the GT-R version of it. When you hear GT-R, you should think twin turbocharged power, all-wheel drive, and just performance that's second to none. One thing is for sure, with this R33, especially being the first year of the GT-R, there were some changes. The car kind of grew in size a little bit. Some people call it the stepchild of the GT-R series because what was to come follow would be, of course, the iconic R34. But why don't we go ahead, let's get into this freshly imported 1995 GT-R and see what it's all about. You could see the direction that they went in with the styling. Now this one, on top of being the first imported for 2020, also, what's the first is that this is a V-Spec car. So it's not just your standard Skyline GT-R, if you could call any GT-R standard. This is a V-Spec model, which has some special performance options. Plus, this is a one-owner car, 18,000 documented miles. So get ready for what's underneath the hood because there's some special things there. Off the bat, you can see the headlight housing. This was the style that they went to in 1993 with the R33 series. What's fascinating is something I want to point out. Look how clear that headlight lens is. This car is 25 years old. A lot of times these get all fogged up, yellowish in color, clear as the day it rolled off the assembly line. Now we drop down, you have some lower exterior lighting, and I am gonna do it. I am gonna zonk the iconic Godzilla fake vent here. What's up with that? Don't like that, but the good news is you do have your brake cooling vents and everything located in both corners. Now, as we come across the front, you can see that GT-R emblem, so iconic, the nice wire mesh, both at the top and the bottom. You have additional ducts for cooling, and then you can see how they integrated the low lip spoiler. That's gonna help scoop air and give us downforce because behind this is the large intercooler for that RB26 engine. But really, in this black color, just so menacing. Now, when you go up onto the hood, this does have a custom hood, but it is authentic in its appearance. I love the reverse heat extractors, really flows well with what's going on with the front end of the car up onto this hood, and I think it just gives it that extra look to such an iconic automobile. Now, when you come around the bend, here's what we're working with when we're looking at our V-Spec wheels. You have your 5-spoke wheel, nice, simple in design. They're forged, they're ultra light. You got your 4-piston Brembo caliper, really looks great. We weren't up to 6-piston calipers yet. This is what we were working with at the time. It's a 17-inch wheel, and like I said, all-wheel drive, and it's got that rear wheel steering as well. It's gonna make it handle like nothing but the business. Into the fender, so clean. You got your side marker light, your GT badging, just like when it rolled off the assembly line. And then I like the proportion. Now the car grew a little bit in size, but the proportions of the R33, it still has that Skyline look, of course, but it has a nice flow to it, and I think it works well. You have the side sill extension that comes down, and then as we keep working our way towards the rear, just the extra width to the fenders, and then of course the massive rear wing that actually is adjustable. We got our GT-R badging on the sides. You could see the holes here where you could actually adjust the tilt of the wing to give more downforce or less downforce depending on your track situation, because this obviously is a car that you can do a track day in, and people did track days for many years in these. You have your round taillights. This is another synonymous thing that goes with the Skyline and the GT-R. Of course, another GT-R badge. Here's another touch that you just don't see on cars anymore. Even the Nissan cover for the actual lock of the trunk, it swivels up, it's still there, and it looks great. We drop down, nice and simple and clean, and a large single outlet exhaust. There's that V-Spec badging. Just a really awesome machine. But why don't we go ahead and pop that hood and see what's powering this 1995 GT-R. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. Underneath the hood is that iconic RB26. So when we say RB26, we're talking about a 2.6 liter inline six twin turbocharged engine, 276 horsepower stock, 271 pound-feet of torque. It redlines at 8,000 RPM, all mated to a 5-speed manual transmission only, no automatics, as the way it should be. All-wheel drive, gripping you like Gorilla Glue. It puts out 12 pounds of boost. You have the, of course, limited slip diffs, the rear wheel steering. The car weighs around 3,574 pounds. This particular one has the NISMO LM wheels, and when we say NISMO, we're talking about Nissan Motorsports NISMO turbo upgrade, HKS cams, EVC boost controller, Mines intake, Trust exhaust, and HKS intercooler piping, and HKS lowering springs. We're talking about 505 horsepower to the wheels. The great news is, like I said, this is a one-owner car, documented mileage. When I look underneath, I just love how clean everything is. You got the Nissan badging, the twin cam badging, and that massive strut tower brace that's going to help and stiffen up the front end of the business. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire up Godzilla and see what it sounds like. All right, guys, you would think it's the business side, but not on a JDM legend like this one. Passenger side, I know you're probably like getting to that point as I would be where you're saying, Joe, how much is this? One owner, 18,000 documented miles, some mild modifications to really get that horsepower. Because remember, 276, which we all know that on a dyno, it dynos more, but this one has right around 500. How much is it? Montu Motors got it listed for $65,000. Definitely give Sam or Jack a call because they want to find a forever home for this perfect prime example. Let's look at the door panels. You're not going to find an example that's cleaner. 25 years old, still looks great, no cracks, really no fading going on that whole door panel. You go from the door panel to the dash, you can see how smooth. I mean, this looks brand new. It's like somebody had it under a car cover in a garage. Seats, all original, nice bolstering on the sides. You have the opening here if you ever want to run any kind of race harness. Nice and low. Even the raised middle section really helps keep you planted. Instrumentation, check it out. All the original gauges, your boost gauge, your oil temperature, front torque gauge, it's all there. You do have an aftermarket stereo system that was put in, but it's clean. AC controls, original shift knob, 5-speed manual transmission. The throws, nice and short and crisp. Even the little GT-R logo sitting here, the good old-fashioned e-brake. I'm even going to open this up. 25 years, look at this. Clean as can be. You could put your Twinkies in there. Twinkies last longer than 25 years. They've tested them. They're over 100 years. You could eat them after 100 years old if you're still alive. Seats, I feel great. Tons of headroom. Tons of elbow room. Now, the bolstering is a little tight, but that's just something you're gonna have to deal with driving a car like this, because in Japan, usually the seats, especially the sports seats in different cars, tend to have higher bolstering. But why don't you get on over to the business side of things? I wanna show you all the magic that's happening on this side of Godzilla. All right, guys, business side, original Nissan steering wheel. Everything looks super clean. All of the labeling is still there. That dash, look at the red line. I wasn't lying. 8,000 RPM red line. You have your speedometer, you have your fuel gauge, coolant gauge, everything looking sharp. Now, the one previous owner did add some auxiliary gauges on the side as well. Your boost controller and turbo timer, which is important with older turbocharged engines. But I'm telling you, the original floor mats, for Pete's sakes. Even down here, the lever for your fuel door and to open up the trunk, clean, clear, and the back seats are great. I'm gonna do a first here on Rady's Rides. We're gonna check out the trunk on this 25-year-old R33 GT-R. Let's go do it. All right, guys, time to open up the trunk on this GT-R. We open it up. The hood struts are so perfect. And I really think they're the original because it's got the Nissan badging on it. You can see right here for the Ray's engineering wheels and everything. I'm sure you can read that if you know Japanese, of course. Good amount of room. And then check out, just like up front, we have the strut top brace back here for the rear of the car. So we're stiffening up the rear and the front of the car. I can't control it anymore. If you're ready, I'm ready. This thing is perfect. Let's take this R33 GT-R for a spin. All right, guys, we're in the R33 GT-R. Really amazing experience. So glad to share with you. Here we go, on throttle. Wow. Yeah, the wastegates, I don't know if you heard that sound, but the wastegates when you shift sounds amazing. Really cool. Anytime I could get behind the wheel of a JDM legend, I don't care what it is, I'm all about it, because sitting on the right-hand side of the car, it's really trippy. It really is. The biggest thing to really be concerned about is hitting the turn signal instead of the windshield wiper. That's really the thing you got to be focused on. Hitting your marks with the gearbox, it's the same pattern. First is all the way up in the left, and then you're just going to go through for the 5 gears. But seating position is great. Like I said, you know, being a JDM car, Japanese domestic market product, the foot box is a little tighter than what you may be used to. The seat is a little tighter as well, but for me, I don't mind it, because I know when you get yourself into this type of car, that's what you're getting yourself into. But it's nice, quiet. The car idles so perfect. I mean, the car's idling right now at 1,000 RPM, almost like it's a brand new car. I look at the dash, and for a dash that old, 25 years, to not have one single crack just blows my mind. But this thing is really super, super pristine. And looking out over that hood and seeing that heat extractor and that custom portion of the hood looks amazing. All right, guys, we got to a nice little area where we could get on the GT-R just a little bit, really show what it's about. Not gonna do anything too crazy, but the wastegates in this thing are just ridiculous. But I wanna get a little bit of space here between us and the cars in front of us. Really, the car drives so smooth. The steering is so direct. Feels really, really great. But let's go ahead. I'm going to drop it back down to second. Here we go. Rolling on throttle. Here we go. Yeah! I love it. The sound, the sensation, brakes feel great. Look at this. I'm in an R33 GT-R. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Super smooth. Sounds great. Into this right-hand turn. Nice. This is what it's all about. This is why this car is so special. And it's just great that I could share this with you guys. And hey, if anybody out there has the means, give Montu Motors a call, because I'm telling you, you're going to want to add this to your garage. It really is that nice. If I had the cash for it, I think I'd be adding it to my garage. It's that nice. If you want an R33 GT-R, I know everybody's all about the R34, but I'm telling you, this thing is here, now, present, and it is perfect. All right, guys, one more time just for you, just for me, and just for everybody else. But here we go. First gear on throttle. Wow, second. It revs up so quick. It's unbelievable. Really, really nice. The power delivery and everything. Brakes feel great too. Really phenomenal. Nice. The gearbox really super smooth going through the gears. Downshift, flip that throttle. Feeling good. Wow. Ultra nice, man. Let's see how we do through this little right hand, left hand bend section. On the brakes. Here we go. Nice, look at this. This handles great. Wow. I'm so glad I could share this with you, because this is what driving this car is all about. Finding your favorite road, getting out there, having some fun, and really being able to open up the garage each time and just say, hey, I got an original GT-R. I know we only have access to R35s, but this is really where the magic began. But we're gonna get back to Mod 2 Motors, wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, what can I say? It's another special day here on Rady's Rides. So glad I could share it with you. Definitely gotta thank Sam and Jack of Mod 2 Motors for allowing us access to this pristine 25-year-old 1995 Skyline GT-R, the R33. It's amazing how now these cars are available for us, and Mod 2 Motors, you definitely want to give them a call. If not for this one, they can make your JDM Legend dream come true by bringing whatever you want over, as long as it's 25 years or older. Performance, style, and just super low miles out of this thing blows my mind. But if it's cars like these you want to see on the channel, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description. Get yourself some Rady's Rise merch. Got to give it up to King Kong. It's King Kong versus Godzilla. Big Guns McGee working that camera. I'm gonna get you a banana, Tom, so don't worry. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.